Top stories. Malaysia celebrates moderate yet meaningful typosome. Special tax incentive to drive investments in Tok Bali. The decision on the current typosome Standard Operating Procedure (SOP) did not solely depend on suggestion from ministers, according to Datuk Seri M. Saravanan. The MIC Deputy President said he and National Unity Minister Datuk Halimah Mohamad Sadiq had only forwarded the proposed SOP to the Quartet Ministers meeting on COVID-19, and the finalised SOP was decided by the National Security Council (MKN) and Health Ministry. Datuk Seri M. Saravanan, who is also Human Resources Minister, added that he was disheartened with comments from some quarters of the Indian community, claiming he did not deliver the message to the government.
Apabila kita sampaikan permintaan atau perasaan masyarakat India, orang yang pegang jawatan kenalah dengar, bagi sedikit ruang pada kita. Kalau tidak, yang mewakili masyarakat akan menjadi unpopular. As a representative of the Indian community, becoming unpopular among the Indians apabila kita tidak dapat menjawab permintaan mereka.
Datuk Seri M. Saravanan was speaking at a press conference together with Datuk Halimah at Batu Caves today after the launch of typosome celebrations at Sri Mahamariamman Temple. Datuk Halimah said the ministry could only submit the proposed SOP to the Quartet Ministers meeting, but it was not to give the approval. However, according to Datuk Seri M. Saravanan, despite the Indian community not being entirely happy with the SOP set in place, the devotees have shown great compliance with the guidelines today. Hindus in the country celebrated Thaipusam today on a moderate scale in adherence to the SOPs set to curb the spread of COVID-19. At the Sri Subramania Swami Temple in Batu Caves, Selangor, which is the focus of Hindus from all over the country for the Thaipusam celebration every year, the excitement can still be felt this year despite being conducted with strict SOPs. Being allowed by the temple management, the number of devotees entering the temple grounds is limited to 9,000 people, while for the 18 sessions of prayer ceremonies, only 500 people are allowed to participate per session. Also present at the temple today were Human Resources Minister Datuk Seri M. Saravanan and National Unity Minister Datuk Halimah Mohamad Sadiq to review the situation of the year's celebration. Over in Negeri Sembilan, the Sri Bala Tandayu Taipani Temple in Jalan Yam Tuan, Seremban, which is usually crowded with people every Thaipusam celebration before the COVID-19 pandemic hit, looks different this time as devotees celebrate the festival in moderation. A total of 300 visitors were limited to the temple at any one time, with only prayers and Pa'al Kodam ceremonies of bringing a pot of milk are allowed. In Johor, check at the Arul Migru Sri Balasubramania Temple in Skudai, Johor Bahru found that Hindus arrived as early as 7:30 a.m. with temple management members ensuring they underwent a body temperature check and scanned the MySejahtera application. In total, an estimated 800 people performed the prayers and Pal Kodam ceremonies today, with only 50 individuals allowed to enter the temple grounds for an hour. The implementation of the Keluarga Malaysia Automotive Aid has been improved by allowing flood victims to make a cash claim if their vehicles had been repaired in a workshop that is not registered with the Automotive Aid program. Applications can be done online from tomorrow. Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tunku Abdul Aziz in a statement said physical applications can be done at any Disaster Operation Control Centre (PKOB) or a nearby Inland Revenue Board branch. Applicants can refer to the frequently asked questions on the official portal Bantuan Banjir Keluarga Malaysia for more information. Following the recent floods, the government announced various initiatives to help those affected by the flood, including the Keluarga Malaysia Automotive Aid of up to RM1,000 for the repair of their damaged vehicles. Up to now, about 20 automotive companies with a network of 1,800 service centres nationwide have agreed to join the Automotive Aid initiative. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Finance has approved a special tax incentive to drive investments in Tok Bali, Kelantan as a new growth centre in the state. According to Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul, the incentive includes giving 100% income tax exemption for 25 years and an extension of another 5 years for special income tax at a rate of 17%. He said non-citizens holding senior management positions in companies that are included under this initiative will only be subjected to a flat tax rate of 15% as an added incentive to increase Kelantan's competitiveness as an investment destination. In a statement, he added the federal government, cognizant of the challenges faced by the state of Kelantan, is confident that the special tax incentives being implemented by the federal government via the East Coast Economic Region Development Council, ECERDC, will spur the economic transformation of Kelantan. Meanwhile, ECERDC Chief Executive Office Dato' Bazawi Cik Mat said Tok Bali is envisioned to be the new growth centre for Kelantan, adding the special tax incentives as well as the high-impact projects in the Tok Bali area will contribute towards achieving its investment target of RM2.3 billion. This investment is expected to generate 4,200 new jobs and 270 entrepreneurial opportunities for the local community. The development of the Tok Bali area will focus on 5 key sectors, namely manufacturing, fisheries, oil and gas, logistics and service. Plus Malaysia Berhad Plus has doubled up the teams to assist customers at the toll plazas to ensure a smoother travel experience for the North-South Expressway users who have migrated to the radio frequency identification RFID technology as their toll payment of choice. Plus, in a statement today, said it had also improved the visibility of directional signages to increase familiarity of RFID lanes. It said highway customers who experience detection issues at the RFID lane need not worry, as toll personnel will be on hand with a handheld device to scan the RFID tag. Should the tag still remain undetectable, a coupon for a full detection diagnostic at the nearest Touch and Go fitment centre will be provided. The RFID tag will be replaced for free if it is still have detection issues after the test. Meanwhile, the statement said Plus recorded an encouraging migration rate of 10% RFID transactions after its implementation on 15 January across the entire North-South Expressway over the weekend. Still to come, Securities commissions ends probe on MACC chief. The Securities Commission Malaysia SC has concluded its inquiry in relation to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission Chief Commissioner Tan Sri Azam Baki's trading account. In a statement, it said, based on the evidence gathered, the Commission is not able to conclusively establish that a breach under Section 25, Subsection 4 SICDA has occurred. As a capital market regulator, the SC said that its regulatory remit are set out under the Securities Commission Malaysia Act 1993, SCA, Capital Markets and Services Act 2007, CMSA, and Securities Industry Central Depositories Act 1991, SICDA. it said in this regard. The said inquiry relates to the issue of whether a potential breach under Section 25, subsection 4, SICDA has occurred. Section 25, subsection 4 SICDA provides that a trading account must be open in the name of the beneficial owner or authorized nominee. The SC did not elaborate on the next course of action or if it would make any recommendations to any other body. The SC began looking into the issue earlier this month after Tan Sri Azam openly admitted in a news conference that his brother Nasir Baki had used his share trading account with his permission to buy millions of shares into public listed companies back in 2015. As a capital market regulator, the SC said its regulatory remit are set out under the Securities Commission Malaysia Act 1993, SCA Capital Markets and Services Act 2007 CMSA and Securities Industry Central Depositories 1991. Now, moving on to the next news, the Kelantan Health Department JKNK is still conducting further investigations regarding the COVID-19 infection among Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Agama SMKA Naim Lil Banat students. Its director, Dato' Dr. Zaini Hussein, said in a situation where the virus was already in the community, it was difficult to determine the cause of infection. However, he said samples from the infected students had been sent to the laboratory to identify whether it involved the Omicron, Delta or Beta variant. On rumors that the case was caused by a student whose parents had just returned from performing Umrah and were confirmed to be infected with the Omicron variant, he said they were not true. When contacted by RTM today, Dato' Dr. Zaini said the people are advised not to spread false messages as it can cause concern to parents and the community. He said the cluster involving 44 students who are staying at the school hostels was declared as the MB Teleport cluster on 14 January. Based on investigations, a total of 256 close contacts have been identified, of which all of them have been instructed to undergo quarantine, and those experiencing any symptoms have been advised to go for a screening. He added that the Kota Bharu Health Office had suggested that the school's face-to-face teaching and learning process be postponed from today until 25th January. A total of 10 schools located near the Pulau Burung landfill in Jalan Biram in Nibong Tebal have been ordered to close for 3 days starting tomorrow after a fire that started last Wednesday continues to burn, polluting the air. Pulau Pinang Education Department Director Abdul Rashid Abdul Samad, when contacted, said for a start, all 10 schools, including the 2 secondary schools, would be closed from 19 to 21st January. Meanwhile, Chief Education Officer for Seberang Perai Selatan District, Muhammad Ziauddin Mat Saad, said the decision to close the 10 schools was made after the district disaster meeting held yesterday. Muhammad Ziauddin said the decision was taken after finding that the air index within a radius of 10 kilometers, including the schools, was at level 3 under the acute exposure guidelines, which is the concentration of air that could cause severe effects to the health and lives of residents. In a statement today, he said the school management was asked to inform teachers, parents, canteen operators, bus operators and other relevant parties regarding the school closure so that initial preparatory actions could be made by the parties involved. The Pulau Burung landfill caught fire last Wednesday and the Fire and Rescue Department was still trying to extinguish the fire. Several photos of alleged logging activities believed to be at the Kledang Saiyong Forest Reserve in Kuala Kangsar, which have been shared on social media, are old photos. Perak Forestry Department Director Datuk Muhammad Zain Yusof said that the pictures were originally uploaded in 2019. He said the permanent forest reserves, which are managed based on the principles of sustainable forest management, are classified into production forest and protection forest, covering 51% and 49% areas respectively. Dato' Muhammad Zain in a statement today said in Perak, there are almost 987,000 hectares of areas gazetted as permanent forest reserves under the National Forestry Act 1984. Based on the department's records, the area was classified as a protection forest and logging approval covering 80 hectares of forest was given by the state authority in 2018. The logging activities, he said, were carried out through license issuance in 2019, which had expired in 2020. Last week, several photos of the forest area with tree trunks cut down, alleged to have taken place in Kluang Saiyong Forest Reserve, Kuala Kangsar, went viral. Following that, Perak Menteri Besar Datuk Seri Sakrani Muhammad has instructed the department to investigate the veracity of the photos. A total of 23 Pahang police officers and personnel have been sacked for committing various offences in 2020 and last year. State Police Chief Datuk Ramli Muhammad Yusof said 14 cases were recorded last year, while 9 in 2020 involving drug abuse as well as criminal and corruption cases.
Tetapi yang kita nak tekankan bukanlah soal mereka itu dibuang kerja, sebagai peringatan kepada mereka yang sedang dalam perkhidmatan ini untuk tidak menjinakkan diri dengan apa-apa elemen negatif yang boleh memberi efek kepada diri mereka dan juga pada pasukan khasnya.
He said this at the Pahang Police Contingent Headquarters IPK Monthly Assembly in Kuantan today. Meanwhile, Datuk Ramli said more than 300 IPK personnel who were affected by the recent floods had been given appropriate assistance. At the ceremony, he also presented certificates of appreciation to 30 members of IPK Pahang. The Integrity and Standards Compliance Department's JIPS Criminal Investigation Unit on Deaths in Custody has confirmed that the death of a detainee at the Pengkalan Chippa Police Station lockup was due to pneumonia. The death of a 37-year-old local detainee has been classified as sudden death. Bukit Aman JIPS Director Dato' Azri Ahmad said this was based on a post-mortem on the disease which was conducted at the Raja Perempuan Zainab Hospital, Kota Baru. However, Dato' Azri said the JIPS would continue the investigation from various angles before submitting the findings on the investigation to Deputy Public Prosecutor for further action. Yesterday, JIPS was reported to have received a report on a detainee who had died at 4:35 p.m. The detainee was arrested under Sections 12, Subsection 2 and 15, Subsection 1 of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952 and was remanded for 4 days. 6 Indonesian illegal immigrants were found dead, while 7 were rescued when their boat capsized about 4.2 nautical miles off Pontian at midnight last night. The dead were all women passengers of the boat, while the survivors comprised 5 women passengers and 2 male skippers. Johor Maritime Director Admiral Nurul Hizam Zakaria said the Johor Bahru Maritime Rescue Sub-Centre received a report on 6 individuals rescued by a local fishing boat at 0.3 nautical miles southwest of Pontian Besar at 10 a.m. today. Based on information from the survivors, the boat was carrying 13 people, including the skipper, before it capsized. He said a search and rescue operation was activated at 10:20 a.m. today with an AW-139 aircraft, and a Kilat 12 boat had been deployed to search the missing victims. The SAR team then found the bodies of 2 women and saved another woman at 1 p.m., followed by 4 more bodies at 2:30 p.m. Meanwhile, Pontian District Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Shofi Taib, the victims aged between 25 and 35 were believed headed for the Api-Api jetty in their bid to enter the country illegally.
Dia orang berpaut pada ni lah, ada pelampung lah, macam botol lah, air.
Maknanya dia pelampung ni pada jam 11 malam.
Ya, sampai yang dijumpai pada petang ni lah.
2 skippers were arrested and a remand order will be applied for. The case is being investigated under Section 26A of the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Typosome Act 2007 and Section 6, Subsection 1, Subsection C of the Immigration Act 1959-1963. Alright, so that concludes news at 10. Making the headlines tonight, Malaysia celebrates moderate yet meaningful typosome. Join us again for more updates at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow. Till then, I'm Shuhaida Arifin. Goodbye for now.